Hi there, Andre here from Peak Motorcycles. Time for another video from the garage. So today I'm going to be fitting a Enduristan Sandstorm 4X tank bag to my CRF300 Rally. So for those of you who saw the ride out that I did, I think it's my TET-02, the Trans-Euro Trail number 2 route where I went from Houndkirk over to Abney. I did have the Fender Pack mounted on the front mudguard of my CRF300 Rally. The problem is that because of the fixed headlamp and the fairing, you have to move it quite a long way forwards, and it was starting to slide off as soon as I got onto a rocky trail. So not ideal. I think I'm going to reuse that fender bag on the underside of the Blizzard panniers, but it does mean that I could do with just a little bit more space. The thing that I'm looking to fit is this Enduristan Sandstorm tank bag. In the past, I've never been that big a fan of tank bags because I always found them a little bit big and they always got in the way. I've never really thought about getting a really small one. Yeah, I've got this Sandstorm, Enduristan Sandstorm. I mean, it is small. It's about the same size as the Rally Pack that I have on the back of the bike. So I'll just give you a very quick look and talk through. I mean, there's not a great amount to it. It does have a waterproof zip. It came with some silicone lubricant in case that ever gets dusty, which I'm sure it will. It's got this kind of lip inside, so it does say waterproof on it. I guess that I'm pretty sure it is. Even if water could get through the waterproof zip, this bit on the inside is actually taped, as you can see there. It's just got one zip that goes all the way around. It has a zip pocket. Oh, do it that way. It has a zip pocket, and it also has a sort of mesh pocket for tools and things. You can chuck something in there. That's kind of it. It has two rock straps for securing it at the back end, a couple of loops if you want to put a shoulder strap on it. On the underside, turn it the right way up, it's got this same sort of soft, hopefully non-marking material. I mean, it does feel quite tough, so we shall see, to go against the bike. That's kind of it. Oh, on the front end, there is a place to feed in a USB cable if you want to charge anything that's inside, and it fixes to the front of the bike using these straps. So basically that goes around I guess the sort of the steering crown at the front of the bike, and then these two straps hook on further down on the side. Now, in addition to that, you do get this top sort of map pocket, which will also take a cable from the bag, and that just fits just on the top, kind of like that. A few other things. To fit the rock straps to the bike itself, there's these bits that the clips will fit into, and I don't know if you can see that on the camera. Hopefully you can. It's basically the plastic clip with a bit of foam so it doesn't scratch the bike. And then a tie wrap. Now, I'm kind of hoping these are going to be strong enough. They did send several spare tie wraps in the box with it, which says to me that if over time they do come loose, at least you can replace them. You know, keeping an open mind, I'll see how robust that is. I mean, given the size of it, you're never going to have that much weight actually in the bag itself. So I'm not expecting that's ever really going to be a problem. I know these rock straps are really solid. I've used those as actually just for securing things to a bike before, and it says that these should be at 30 to 50% extension. So you know, with that, hopefully there's enough play to keep it in place. But yeah, so that's kind of it. That's what it looks like. Whenever you order anything from Enduristan, they do send you some of these 3M stickers. I know it's free advertising for them, but at the same time, they're actually quite good as frame protectors. I've put a couple on the sides of my bike. And also I've put one on the tank so far just to try and stop things from getting scratched. I am going to use this one just on the front because I think where these straps come down, potentially this plastic will be up against the fuel tank. I'm not that fussed around the plastics. I think if the plastics get scratched, it is what it is, and I can replace the plastics. The metal fuel tank, don't really want to rub anything off there. So even if I just put that on and then these straps go over the top of it, then I'm hoping that will give some protection. That's kind of it. So I will start to fit it. So the first thing I'm going to do is to take these straps off here and here. There we go. So I'm going to take this, and there's another clip here, and I'm just going to fit this around the top end of the bike, but for that I'm going to move the camera. Okay, so if you can see that, these straps essentially, this loop here needs to go around the front of the frame there. So I'm just going to take that clip off. I just need to feed one side round and underneath. So from looking in there on my Rally, there are quite a few cables and things. Most of them have got a metal piece around them, so I'm not that worried about snagging, but nevertheless, I don't want to stop anything from working as it should. So here we go. Looking into that, it looks like it's actually the brake line because it's got the ABS thing on it, so I'm going to go inside that. I don't know if you can quite see that, but hopefully this will make sense. So that one comes up and under there. There we go. So that's the piece that's going to go onto the tank bag. That's the bit that's going to loop round. And the other end I just need to thread underneath. So then that needs to just join up there, I think. Okay, and then so this middle strap I can tighten up quite a lot, I think, almost all the way. And then it's just ready to get these two straps in the right place to fit onto the bag. Now what I can see is these are both going to touch the fuel tank around there, so I'm just going to give it the front of the tank a quick clean, put that Enduristan sticker on at those contact points. I'm just going to give that a quick clean around the front of the tank. Onto that I'm going to put my Enduristan Wherever You Ride sticker. It is 3M, proper 3M stickers. They're actually quite thick. I'll go middle out instead of from one end. I think that's going to be easier to get it even. There we go. Okay, so that's just going to stop these from actually being up against the metal on the tank when they're done up. Okay, there is like some topping, a top film on that sticker. Let's take that off as well. Okay, so the front end of the bag is then just clips into those. One side goes in here, the other side, hopefully you can see that, it just clips on like that. So that's kind of it for the front. I think I need to tighten up that strap a little. That is almost as tight as it goes. So maybe I'll need to just see about tying that up as a captive end. And then maybe just pulling down on the front. What I'm not going to do is I won't tighten up the other two. I think that's about the right place just at the moment. Once I've got the rear straps in and fixed, I think maybe I'll just tighten that up. Just put it forward a little bit. So hopefully you can see that. So this is where I've put the sticker on. So that's just blocking there. This is the one I've pulled tight over the top. On this side, this is on the right hand side of the bike, it does actually go down. So this one, I think this is the brake line in the ABS, isn't actually fixed to the frame. So I've gone inside that. The next one down, maybe you can just about see it, everything is on metal clasps. So that then goes underneath the front of the frame there. And then on this side, turn that back, you can see it just comes around. Now here, all of the wiring is actually around, it's on metal fittings. So even though it's over the top of them, I don't think that's going to be a problem, especially for the weight that's in here. These are the loose ends. I'll probably just move these bits of elastic down and tighten up, but hopefully that will make sense. So the next thing I need to do is to fit the other ends for these Enduristan straps. I'm going to actually put them around the frame on here, but to do that I think I need to remove the plastics. So hopefully you can see that on here okay. So what we need to fix is one of these. So this is the clip that this is going to go into, and it's just going to connect like that. And then, so what I really want to do is to have this around the frame in a place where it's not going to slide up. Now, maybe it's not too bad on this side. I think on the other side, it's a bit more fiddly. So yeah, that will go around there. In fact, there is actually a fitting on the far side of that. So the frame on the inside of here, there is another piece, so that isn't going to slide up. So I think that is actually going to be where my fitting place will be. So what I might do is just get a bit of electrical tape, put it around the back. I know we've already seen that some of the painting on the frame is a little bit soft. So rather than having the tie wrap rubbing just straight against the frame and rubbing the paint off, I'll put some tape round. Okay, so tricky bit I think is going to be threading this around the back. Remind us off where the bar is, and the bar's all the way up there. Actually, I think this is when having the plastics off would be kind of useful. Oh, there we go. You can just about see that. There we go. So I mean, it's not doing a lot. It's just an extra layer to reduce the friction. I'm just looking at this. Which side do I want to have the? I think I actually want to have the bit that sticks out the thicker bit on that side. So I'm just going to feed that around the back. Just about get my fingers in there. There we go. So this has got the pad that's going up against the frame. Put that onto there. camera was swaying. I think it's actually the bike on the stand. There we go. So that's kind of in. I think that's up as far as it'll go. So that is going to plug onto there. Loosen off that strap a little bit. Actually, I think that strap is, I think that's the wrong way around for what I want. Yeah. So just put that, there's Velcro on the back of that, just to keep that out of the way. And then just giving that strap a bit of a tug. Oh, maybe that's a bit too much. So yes, that is really secure. It is just on the edge of the tank there. It is on the sticker. Maybe I'll put another piece of tape under that, but I'll put the other one on first and just see how that looks. So on this side, got the same thing, I think, although it looks slightly different. In here, I can't quite get my fingers around. So yeah, I think it is just behind there, but I might need to take the plastics off here. So this is going to need a seat removal. If you haven't taken the seat off before, it's just these two bolts at the back, one either side. It's the same on the Rally as it is on the L. And then, I'm not sure if you can see this in here, but if you can see just inside there. So in here, there's this little rivet, which is like a push rivet that needs to be, you basically push the pin down and it then releases. So here we go. There we go. And then I should just be able to pull that out. There we go. So there we go. So to push that back in again, all I'm going to do is push the pin back up through the top. And then when I go to push it back in the hole, it will be up. And then you just push that pin down to secure it. Okay, and then I think that one just pulls out. There we go. Okay, so that's that one off. So I think that will probably just give me enough access to get in and put on this other one. I'm sure someone will tell me in the comments, there's probably a catch that I'm missing somewhere that just makes all this come away really quite easily. I'll try one more, see if that makes a difference. So of course, all of this is actually different on the CRF300L. So all of this just applies to the Rally. On the CRF300L, you've got a much smaller fairing. So even though the fitting of the tank bag around the frame and where it fits on the fuel tank is probably pretty similar, you're going to have to be, you'll be on your own for working out what to do for the Rally, for the L. That is still secured somewhere. I suspect it's around the bash guard. There's another bolt in down there, but I think that will actually pull away enough for me to do what I need to do. This panel is actually Velcroed in place. I can just feel the Velcro just behind about here. So that's off enough just to be able to pull that off. I can see where the piece of the frame is that goes across. I think I can probably get a strap around that. Now the same thing again with the fitting. Just going to have it so I've got it the other way around. And then to just thread that in. If all you can see is my hand, you have my apologies. There we go. Actually, that electrical tape needs to be slightly higher. Okay, so similar thing to the other side. So just push that clip in. There we go, it's pulling up to there. I do need to cut the ends off these tie wraps, but essentially that is it. So before I refit the seat, just so you can see where it's going, it's basically over the plastic here. The seat is actually going to go up into that gap. It is pretty well secured down. What I will do is just bring it around the front. So I think I need to tighten these straps up a little bit just so it's slightly further forwards. I don't want that stud on the end of the handguard to touch. Are we on this side? Okay, so that's just slightly clear. So I could go slightly further up on the tank just so it is covering the fuel cap, and that will just bring it up off the seats at the back. So yeah, I'll go and do that now. First up, I'm just going to put this bolt back in. The next thing I'm going to do is refit the panel that covers the battery, and this is the one that also had the little pin in there, so that kind of interlocks over the top. And then there's a couple of rubber bushings that it pushes into, like that, and then there's the lower bolts down there. So as mentioned, this is the one where I'll pull the pin up. That lets the bottom of the plastic rivet close. Pop it into the hole, push it down, and then that's secure. And then the very last thing is to put the other two bolts back in. Just going to take that off while I fit the seat. That is all back on. Do these up. I just want to pull that forward just a touch. So the straps I'm just going to tighten up is these ones here, one here and one there. In fact, I might even just take that off for a moment. You know what, I think that could still go a bit further. Those rock straps are so strong, they're actually pulling down quite a lot. So one challenge I've always had with tank bags is they just get in the way when you're trying to fill it with fuel. So on this one, it's not perfect, but it's actually just these two clips at the front. They just unclip, the bag comes off, you fill it with fuel, and then you just clip back on again when you're done. There we go. So that's it. There are a few things to finish up. I just need to cut the ends off the tie wraps and just tidy up the ends of the webbing where it's fixed at the top. But otherwise that is very much in place, and I don't think anyone's that interested in seeing the other bits. So yeah, that is my video on how to fit an Enduristan Sandstorm 4X tank bag to a Honda CRF300 Rally. It will go on the Honda CRF300L in more or less the same way. There's probably a few things you need to check. One is that the 300L will have a different fuel tank. The other thing is there'll be a slightly different fairing on the front here. So I'm sure you can work that out. The frame itself is the same, so the fixing points at the top and the bottom are the same. The position on the tank will be slightly different. I'm not going to get on it right now. I mean, it is right at the front of the seat. I suspect I'll be up against it. I'm going to be away next week riding, doing a Train for Trails day with Moto Junkies. So there'll certainly be some video of how it works actually off-road. So I'll see you then. So hopefully this video has been interesting and useful. If it has, please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Thank you.